Okay, I know the title and thumbnail are a little different from what I usually do in these video essays, but I've been sitting on this idea for far too long. I need to get my thoughts out there before I procrastinate even more. As most of you guys already know, I'm a massive fan of My Hero Academia. I've made multiple videos about it, drawn fan art, and I'm constantly talking about the series on my Twitter. By the way, feel free to follow me there if you haven't. So when I first heard that MHA was getting a live action movie, I wasn't immediately angry per se. I was mostly confused, like, how is this actually going to work? I get it, successful anime and manga get the live action treatment sometimes. You can say the same for any other piece of media that just so happens to be animated. But with MHA specifically, I keep wondering how they're gonna pull this off. Sure, CGI and motion capture have come a long way, but the character designs in the series are genuinely complex. And I'm not even talking about the human characters, I'm talking about the heteromorphs like Shoji, Tokoyami, Koda, Spinner, Gigantomachia, and so much more. Even the background characters have wild designs. Hell, I'd probably be surprised if they get Minetta's design wrong. How are they going to make all of that look right in live action? Do they have the budget, the time, or the practical effects and CGI talent to do it justice to the original designs? Like, I know Netflix is producing it, but that question still stands. Some people might say, but Jahil, didn't they learn their lesson with the live-action One Piece remake? And yeah, from what I've seen, the adaptation is genuinely pretty good, but here's a key difference. One Piece was made as a series. This MHA project is entirely a movie. That pretty much changes everything. How exactly are they planning to adapt over 431 chapters, technically 432 if you count the Ultra Age one-shot, into a movie that's only about an hour and a half long? I mean, look at what happened to Death Note with their live-action movie back in 2017. They had to cut so many important plot points, character designs, and details just to fit the runtime. And that movie was not great. I might do a full video about that someday. With MHA, there's so much story, so much themes, and so much character development. I'm genuinely worried they're going to strip out the heart of the series. The only possible route I do see the movie will take is that they would adapt the arcs in season 1. And if the movie succeeds, which I'm having my doubts about, but I digress, then they could make more movies that cover the rest of the story. Now, just to be clear, this is just a what-if scenario, but if they do go that route, then it'd make things flow a little better. Though I do think this would benefit Netflix a little bit more if they make this movie into a series like they did with One Piece, but whatever. In fact, I'm scared they'll end up destroying some of the characters in the process. Like, remember how online everyone used to slander Deku for being a crybaby, quote unquote? I can already see Netflix turning him into some stoic aura farming Giga Chad who's tough, emotionless, and never shows any signs of vulnerability. Insert solo leveling reference. If they go that route, I won't be surprised, just disappointed. Speaking of changes, who are they even going to cast? The internet keeps throwing out Dwayne Johnson for All Might, and I can see why people will say that, but I suspect they'll go with somebody else for the role. This was supposed to be the part where I made an Arnold Schwarzenegger joke, but I blanked for a second. So. I also saw some people suggesting Jason Norman from Henry Danger for Bakugo. Honestly, I doubt he'd actually want to put himself into that kind of vocal torture. Like, both the Japanese and English voice actors for Bakugo have talked about how brutal it is for voicing this character. Nobuhiko Okamoto literally needed surgery because of the strain, and Clifford Chapin said on Twitter that he passed out multiple times while recording for Bakugo vs. All for One in the final season. And that's just Bakugo. Think about the rest of Class 1A. There are literally 20 kids in that class, each with unique personalities, backstories, and character arcs. In a movie, they're probably going to get reduced to background extras or cut them entirely for the entire film. Like, imagine a version of MHA where we barely get to know Uraraka's motivations, Todoroki's trauma, or Ida's sense of justice. Like, that would really suck. Then you've got the teachers and the pro heroes. All Might is a symbol of peace. Like, his entire presence and physical decline are central to the story. Aizawa's dry humor and strict teaching style, Present Mike's over-the-top energy, Midnight, and so much more. These characters add so much flavor. To be honest, I'm pretty sure Hollywood might turn them into generic mentor archetypes and lose what makes them special. Don't even get me started on the villains, bro. I'm pretty sure Shigaraki's descent from angry kid to full-on leader of a revolution is one of the most, brilliant arcs written in modern shonen. In a rushed movie, he'll probably just be crazy bad guy with hands. Same with All for One, this larger-than-life mastermind who's been pulling the strings for generations. How do you convey that weight in 90 minutes of film? Another huge concern is the themes. My Hero Academia isn't just about punching and power-ups. It's about a society that discriminates against people with weak quirks, quote-unquote, or heteromorphic bodies. It's about what it really means to be a hero, the cycle of abuse and trauma, the corruption in hero society, and the idea that anybody can become a hero if they try. Are they going to water all of that down to make it a safe, generic blockbuster that appeals to international audiences who've never read the manga in their life? I'm also worried about the tone. MHA has its perfect balance of heartfelt emotional moments, ridiculous comedy, and insane action. Live-action adaptations often feel the need to go darker and grittier, to seem more mature. I don't want to depress, overly serious of MHA. I want the hope, the friendship, and the plus ultra spirit. That's literally what I signed up for. And let's talk about the action itself. The anime had these beautiful, fluid, over-the-top fight scenes with creative quirk usage. Most of them were animated by Yutaka Nakamura, a man who's done work for Fullmetal Alchemist, Soul Eater, Mob Psycho 100, One Punch Man Season 1, Frieren, and recently Gachi Yakuza. The man's a genius when it comes to complex fighting animation. In live action, those same fights will look ridiculous or cheap if the CGI isn't top tier. One for All's full cowling, decay, float, explosion. To be honest, if they get Michael Bay as the film's director, he's probably gonna turn every Bakugo fight into a 5-minute slow-motion explosion orgy with lens flare. But these abilities are going to be insanely expensive to do right. Like, I fear we'll get a lot of shaky cam and quick cuts to hide effects that look as mediocre as Disney's live-action Pinocchio remake from 2022. What about the music? The MHA soundtrack is iconic, from Yusei Run to the emotional ballads. Will they keep the spirit of the original score or replace it with generic Hollywood orchestral stuff? Like, I swear to God, if they add Bonnie Taylor's Holding Out for a Hero song in the movie, or at the very least a trailer, I'm calling that shit. Trust me, I have a gut feeling that they'll actually do that shit. Then there's the cultural aspect. MHA is deeply Japanese. The setting, the schools, the societal structure, even the way the characters speak and interact. I'm pretty sure Netflix might Americanize too much of it and lose the soul. We've seen this happen in other adaptations. Death Note. I've seen some fans say, just focus on the first few arcs, like the USJ incident or the sports festival. But then again, even that feels impossible without sacrificing so much. The Overhaul arc, the Paranormal Liberation War, Endeavor's Atonement arc, all of that builds on what came before. Cutting corners means emotional payouts will feel flat by comparison. I'm also scared of the casting choices beyond the big names. Like, will they whitewash characters, or will they prioritize big name actors over people who actually fit the roles and are willing to commit to the physicality and accent work required? And let's be real, Hollywood has a really terrible track record when it comes to long-running shonen adaptations. We've had disasters like Dragon Ball Evolution, mixed results with Alita Battle Angel, and successes like the new Sonic movies and One Piece. But MHA is on another level of complexity. If this movie flops, and I'm genuinely worried that it might, it could possibly kill any chance for future MHA projects or even hurt the franchise's reputation. On the flip side, if it somehow succeeds, it opens the door for more anime getting proper live-action treatment. Like, that's the only silver lining I can see. At the end of the day, I want to be proven wrong. I want this movie to capture even a fraction of what makes MHA so special to so many people, like, and me included. I want breathtaking visuals, heartfelt moments, and a story that feels like MHA. But right now, with everything I'm seeing from past adaptations and the sheer scope of the series, I'm mostly just concerned. Anyway, what do you guys think? Are you excited for the live-action MHA movie, or are you worried about it like me? Drop your dream cast, your biggest fears, or your hopes in the comments. This is definitely the shortest kind of video essay I've ever done outside of my confessions video that I did a while back, so I hope this was at least entertaining for you so you can get my general thoughts on what I feel about the movie. Anyways, until then, I've been Jahil, and you just went plus ultra, I guess. Peace out.